What's good, family? It's your boy checking back in. Season 2, episode 2. This time, this episode is going to be on a subject I found very important that most people do not know about. The subject will be convict leasing. What is convict leasing? Convict leasing was something that happened immediately after the Civil War. The Civil War took place between the Union and the Confederate States. The Confederate States wanted to keep slavery going because it was their main, labor and how they made money. And the Union wanted to push capitalist society throughout America. And they knew for that to actually happen, they had to get rid of slavery, of enslaved people in the South. Post the Civil War, the South had a huge discrepancy of people that were formerly slaves that could not be because they were free. We all know the story, how the Union won the war, blase, blase, blase. But convict leasing immediately started after the Civil War happened. Convict leasing is when petty crimes gave you long time. I think of the movie Life. Y'all remember that? How in the movie Life, Eddie Murphy and them played a character that was locked up for something he did not do and framed. This was very common in the South state. In places like Alabama, Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Georgia, Mississippi, Tennessee, and even South Carolina, people would get locked up for petty offenses and do hard time. The system was a for-profit system. What I mean by that is that anybody that got locked up was literally auctioned to different states and do work. For example, if I was locked up in Alabama for lack of payment, I would be locked up, sentenced to 10 years in prison, and the state of South Carolina needed help with the railroad system. I would be sent out there to work on the railroad system for free while the state of Alabama profited from my labor. I'm going to repeat that again. I would literally be leased out as a worker to another state to work for corporations, i.e. Bank of America, the companies that we may look up. I'm going to look up the specific company names. But these are companies that were used to build things. When you think about how crazy that is. So people that were incarcerated were for-profit workers. That means they were literally sent to work for companies. And the one thing I want you to think about the most is that how do you think most of these industrial train lines and stuff got built? How do you think most of these steel companies got built up and worked? How do you think these buildings, these big old monuments that we see that are built in the early 1910s and the early 19th century, that was all from convict leasing? It is labor that many black American descendants never got paid from post-slavery. So I want you to think about this when most people talk about things when they said slavery was over. Even after slavery, convict leasing happened to black Americans. Any black Americans in the South, predominantly men, were taken out of the home and used to work for companies to build them up. So the pro-profit system took billions of dollars out of the ancestral line. So I want you to think about it. Whenever you hear that concept of slavery was over such a long time ago, it was slavery, convict leasing, then Jim Crow. Most people, history context, never understood that. So the gap of persecution among indigenous black Americans was still strong. And it was so strong that that labor system was used to this day. And the time period it was used was from 1844 to it ended roughly around 1941. So I want you to think that's almost 100 years. Almost 100 years post-slavery that convict leasing happened. And if you ask the average American what is convict leasing, they cannot break it down or explain to you. The reason why this is such a huge and controversial topic is because I want you to think about that post-pandemic thing that happened. And we still suffer from those consequences. So when you hear about we locking people up and people are going to jail, the prison system is really a huge issue in America. Because when you hear these facts and things that went down, it makes you think of the lasting effects it still has on family. The one biggest thing I want you to think about when you especially hear this program going on during that time, think about how much income from the families, think about the generational wealth, and think about the for-profit that those companies benefited from having labor from people that were locked up by the state. Most of the state prisons were using this type of thing. This is actually a historical fact. I would definitely highlight, you do your research. I'm going to try to drop a few links below. But I know this is a topic that many black males do not know about. It's the convict leasing system. It is such an interesting topic. It is definitely something that we should have a basic grasp of when we have a conversation about race and politics in America. Being the history buff that I am, I definitely just think it was something that I need to shed light on because it was such a huge topic. If you ask the average person what is convict leasing, they normally do not know what it is. It is an amazing topic to research. It is an amazing topic to understand. It is good and bad history, but I think acknowledging the history and what happened is what matters the most. Again, convict leasing, a very important topic. Dive into it. We get detailed out. Checking back out, baby. Terrell Crowder. If you're not familiar with the new site, I'm getting it off the ground. I want you to like, comment, and subscribe to King Crowder. I'm definitely going to come to you with these facts, informations, and most videos that'll be important to you. Peace.